Oh my God, are we back?
We're back, everybody.
Don't worry, we always come back for you, faithful listeners. We love you. Mwah.
Yeah, we watch you all the time. You don't know about it. We keep
I'm
it on the
outside your window
down low.
right now.
Yeah, scratching it.
Oh,
You're
it's
not
so
noticing.
cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, you still don't notice me.
Yeah, notice me, senpai.
Wow, that was a very aggressive opening. I'm so sorry, everybody. But
Yeah.
welcome back to the After School Special Club podcast. I'm Chris.
I'm Mary.
And this is your show for video game news, commentary, and stories from our stupid little lives.
Beautiful, baby, tiny, gargantuan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
56 of them. We've had 56 episodes. We've had 56 lives.
I'm 56 years old today.
We age a year every time we finish recording a podcast.
It's like Benjamin Buttons. We're just like, at the end of it, we're like, oh.
That's how I feel trying to figure out all this stuff with input lag on OBS. I'm like, I feel like I've aged a year trying to solve this problem.
I feel like it's just an issue. Like, even people that I watch, like, that stream professionally in the field, they always have technical issues too with like OBS and
I know. I do wonder like what people are using, or like just what the technology is behind, like when you see, because I'm thinking like Giant Bomb, right, where everyone's like on a webcam, and they're remote, and they're recording, obviously, like they're doing what we're doing right now. I'm like, I wonder what programs and what they use, because their videos are always like pristine. So I'm like, I need a professional. I need professional help. We
should put in the voicemail dump or the email, and we should just send them an email or a voicemail dump. Like, help! That's it.
Help! And they're like,
with what?
Yeah, we don't specify. We're just like, help!
Help!
And they're like, delete.
Yes.
All right. Well, it is a lovely Saturday, and it's the perfect time for you to tell me about your week.
Ooh, moi, tell you about my week. My week's been long. It's been a long one again. I think last week I talked about it. I was working 6 days, and this week I'm working 6 days too.
Yeah.
So just trying to keep it mentally there and clear and clean and cover girl.
And under control.
And under control. But yeah, it's just been busy with work, and outside of that, just trying to work on creative things, reading, writing, doing some art. Doing some fart.
Oh,
some video game fart. Because I want to try to get into the Etsy scene.
Oh,
with
cool.
Like, because I think I showed you before I did some needlework of like Final Fantasy characters. And one of them actually looks like I could probably sell it, like, on Etsy.
I think you should.
Yeah. So I was just thinking, like, I just want to get something into like my hands again. I want to get my hands dirty with some creative work.
Yep.
So I'm trying
I do want to do your dirty work.
Oh, yeah, through this needlework. Get to work, needle. But no, I'm trying to plan to do that this week. And other than that, it's been pretty chill. I feel like people's energies, though, I don't know if you feel this way, but this week I feel like energy was very aggressive, like people in general. There was like a vibe going around that people were just like on edge.
Yeah, I feel like I had like a similar experience. I feel like especially at work. There, like, this week was really busy for some reason, and like people, like, it was just kind of like chaotic energy. Like, nobody necessarily that I experienced to myself like did anything, but like it was just like that the vibe was off.
Yeah, it just wasn't there for me this week. Maybe it'll be there for me next week. And then I was getting home from a long day, and I got catcalled right outside my apartment.
No!
Yeah,
right on the threshold.
And I knew it because I was walking, I turned in the curve, like the corner, and you can just tell people that the way they walk, it says a lot about your personality. Like, it just says stuff about you.
Yeah,
and
your
especially,
posture.
Yeah, especially like women who like walk along the street, they're used to like kind of having those interactions sometimes, and you get like a key like in your brain that's like cataloging like, is this person going to be weird to me? Is this person going to be like, because you always kind of think about that, plan ahead.
Right.
And I was like, this person just seems like they're going to be special when I walk by them. And they were. Like, immediately when I passed by them, they were like, hey, sexy. Hey, beautiful. I was like, I love you. Like that kind of thing.
Ew.
Yeah. I was like, and then I was mad, in a pissed off
Right.
mood already. And I was like, you don't know me. I was like, you can't love me. You don't know me. You know? And and then he got kind of, because when you talk back,
they get mad.
They get mad. And most of the time I don't talk back because I don't want to deal with them getting mad. But this time I was just mad from work and I was just like, I can't take this right now. And, I turned around and then he kept talking to me as I was walking, as I was clearly like going outside of his vision. He just kept yelling like, have a great day, beautiful. And then I was like, I will.
Actually, I will.
I will. And then it's funny because I like went into the gate. I was like, please don't. He knows where I live now.
Yeah. Ugh, gross.
So that was an event. I haven't been catcalled in a while. Is that still what it's called? I don't even know. It's been so long.
Is that what the kids are calling it?
Yeah. Kids, children, tell us. Story time. What's a catcall?
Who's been catcalled?
Yeah, the story time book called What is a catcall? It's like, oh, that's not about cats at all. But yeah, so I think that was like the cherry on top of the cream of the crop, the thing to end it all this work week. And then I have 2 days off, so I'm going to go into relax mode the next 2 days. Going to play some games. Going to play some video games. Going to start streaming because I'm streaming Indigo Prophecy
hell yeah.
on Twitch. So I'm going to start doing that this weekend. So if anyone wants to watch me, it's RPG Earl, like RPG Girl. I need to change my name. It's RPG Earl.
Earl.
ERL.
It's just you in a bad like toupee.
I know. I'm like, my name's Earl.
It's me, Earl.
From the show, my name is Earl.
I love games.
But yeah, I'm streaming Indigo Prophecy or Fahrenheit, which is like a Quantic Dreams game. And it's dark. It's creepy. Please come and watch. That's all I gotta say. But yeah, I'm gonna try to do that too at the end of this week. And decompress. How was your week?
It was really uneventful. I didn't really have any notable stuff happen. I also didn't really I didn't get a chance to really play any games this week. I played like a little bit of Animal Crossing because that's my when I can't play other stuff, I play Animal Crossing for a little bit before bed. But
totally fair.
It was busy, but with like other stuff with like work and writing and all that. So I didn't really have a super eventful week. I don't think I even really did anything. Oh, I mean, I went to a bad show. That did happen. Well, the show wasn't bad. So me and our mutual friend went to a show in San Francisco, and it was at the Independent, and the audio at the Independent sucks. Like, I'm sorry, I'm saying it live on record. It sucks. Like, the audio is so bad. And like this artist that we were seeing, her songs have a lot of like lows and like bass sounds. And like it just couldn't handle it. Like everything was rattling. It was so blown out. Like we actually left after like 4 or 5 songs.
Oh, what artist was it?
It was Ethel Cain.
Okay.
Who I love. And I felt so bad for them because like they like her and her band are talented and like they're really, really good. But it was just like the venue itself couldn't handle the kind of audio, or like whoever was running audio that night was terrible at it. And we felt bad, but we were like, we can't do this. Like everything was shaking and like my chest was like vibrating. It was just terrible. And so we ended up just like going out and like having a few drinks instead, which was nice. Yeah. But yeah, kind of bummed because I really like her. And I think she would have done better in a venue that could like handle her sound, but it's her first tour. So like,
Yeah. That's a bummer. That's a real big bummer. Yeah, because I wonder if they had it set up for like a different type of music or like a different type of band, like with the lo-fi, like the lows. Yeah. Like maybe they already had it set and then they just forgot to set it again or like do a test.
Yeah, I have no idea. I have no idea about like how any of that stuff works, so I'm not gonna postulate. But I just felt bad for her and like her band. But it was really cool actually because her opener was her guitarist.
Oh, that's cool. That's nice.
Yeah, and I was like, I feel like I don't think I've ever seen that before.
Yeah. Speaking of bands and performances, we have a neighbor who does live band practice. So if you hear music in the background, probably them. We get a free show.
I can hear faint, like way in the back.
Yeah.
Like it's very like you won't notice it until now that I've said it.
Yeah.
Anyone listening?
Just like we'll just pause a little bit, enjoy it.
Yep.
Yeah, good job,
All
man.
right.
Ooh, see,
Background music for the show.
you went to a bad show, but this is a good show. Like,
Yeah, this is a
whoa,
good show. And we're
so
getting free
good.
background music for the podcast.
Reverberating through the walls, just like paper thin walls.
Where are they?
Paper thin walls.
Like, how are they having band practice? In an apartment?
Yeah. They do it every week. Yeah.
That's awful. I'm so sorry.
They do it like sometimes. It's so sporadic. It's not like a band practice that's like set schedule. I feel like they just do it whenever.
Yeah, you can't even plan for it.
No, I can't. Because sometimes they'll do it in the weekday, like late at night or like on a weekend traditionally. So this is Saturday. It makes sense why they're doing it today. But some days, sometimes it's like a Wednesday at like 10 p.m. They're like, I love singing in an apartment. Yeah, like.
Wow.
Yeah. But anyway, so I'm sorry about the bad show, though. That's about it.
Yeah, it's all good. I'm sure she'll come around again, and hopefully it'll be at like a better venue that will be more suited for their style.
Yeah, I've only been to the Independent twice. Then I saw Tim Heidecker, which I can't really judge the sound because like it's Tim Heidecker. And then I saw Laura Marling, who I love and adore and is my idol. And I think she just sounded immaculate just because I couldn't let anything else in my head but be like, I love you to death. So I
love you so much.
Yeah. Anyway.
Well, I think that's it for that. So this week we'll jump right into our news because this whole week has been Gamescom.
Yeah, a little Gamescom going on right now.
And I'll admit again, I was super busy, so I didn't watch any of it. I only watched the trailers themselves, which is like the meat of the content anyway. So
yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so I figured we could talk about. Let me pull up my notes. I thought we could just talk about the trailers that kind of stuck with us that we're excited for because the opening night alone was like 2 hours or so, and it was just like jam packed with stuff. So I feel like we kind of want to just talk about the things that stuck out to us.
Yeah, of course. I have one part of it that I want to talk about like in its own segment.
Okay.
But I think the trailers I could just have a couple as well.
Cool. Well, I'll kick it off. So there are a couple of games that I was like really drawn to. Most of them were from the opening night, but then one of them was from later. And so the first one is Callisto Protocol. I mean,
yeah,
I'm like, come on, like, how am I not gonna fucking love this game? I mean, it's literally right up my alley. It's, for anyone who doesn't know, it's gonna be a survival horror game, and the premise is essentially that you are you're a prisoner and you have to try to escape this like maximum security prison that's on Callisto, one of Jupiter's moons, but there's like a mysterious like virus infecting people, and there's creepy crawlies and monsters as there always are. But it is, I forget the studio's name that's working on it, but it's run by one of the people who worked on Dead Space. So it has that very ambient, like dark, creepy, like super well produced audio, which actually there was a lot you could actually pick up on in the trailer too, which I thought was cool because a lot of times you don't get a lot of like, I don't want to say good audio from trailers, but I feel like just because you're watching a stream or like a broadcast, the sound is never that good. But the sound design in the trailer was actually pretty good. So I'm just super excited for it. The combat looks really fun. So there's a couple different elements to it that I was really interested in. So you have, your typical melee, like it looks like you can pick up items in the field and hit enemies with them. But there's actually two features that I am super stoked for. So you have this handgun, and it can be used as a gun, but it can also be used as like a grappling tool. So you can like grab items, you can grab enemies, you can hold on to them, and then you can launch them. And so this ties into one of the other features about the combat that I'm super excited for, which is the interactivity with the environment. So all the trailers we've seen so far have been super gruesome, and then I was really excited to see that the gameplay itself was actually also pretty gruesome because there's a couple shots of the main character grappling enemies and then literally throwing them into these like whirring mechanical machine things that are just like in the field, and it just like grinds the enemy up, and it's like, well,
done. Yeah, literally to dust. Yeah, to dust.
Yeah, and so I just love, like, I love gore, and I love gore when it's done like tastefully. And I don't think, I mean, again, it was a short gameplay trailer. I think it was only like probably a minute and a half, 2 minutes of gameplay, and then there was just some cinematics at the end. But I'm hoping that, you know, it's not super overdone. Like, I'm hoping you do have to use a variety of combat styles, and there was also a stealth element too, where you can sneak up and take out enemies with a knife, which is very reminiscent of Last of Us to me. But I'm hoping that there is, you know, the environment allows you to have to use a diverse amount of attacks, and like you don't just default to the throwing an enemy into a fucking machine and killing them that way, because I would feel like that'd be a cop out if that was like, yeah, I'm just gonna do this every time. So yeah, that was kind of just like what I thought about the trailer so far, and I'm really excited to play it. It did also look like at the end, like I said, there was sort of cinematic, like it almost reminded me of like, I don't know, like Uncharted, like where he's like sliding, like just the sequences of like sliding down and having to like avoid things. Because in the trailer, it was like him sliding down like, I don't know, like a sewer or something.
For like 5 minutes.
For like 5 minutes,
like
avoiding
5
pillars.
minutes. And
then he finally gets to the end and like the timing was poor. Like I feel like it's going to be like you have to time it perfectly, or else, because at the end, the very end of the trailer, he gets to the end of that sequence and gets cut in half by a fan.
Yeah, it's very
timed it poorly. So I was like, ooh, fuck.
It reminds me so much of Tomb Raider. You know how like the Tomb Raider reboots that came out like more recently, how you would get in those traps, it was like booby traps, and you would be like, the violence and the gore was like, whoa, like all of a sudden in your face.
Right.
It's very reminiscent of that, but you know, instead it's Dead Space. It's Dead Space and Tomb Raider. They just had a baby.
Yeah.
And then this is their baby. It's a beautiful baby. I think it looks really good too. I really like the graphics. I really like the ambiance of it. I feel like it's gonna be for people that enjoy like violence and like gore, like that type of thing. I feel like it's right up their alley. I feel like people that are squeamish or that are like try to stay away from that kind of stuff, they probably wouldn't enjoy it because they'd be like, it's too gory for me.
Right.
Like there was a few times where I was watching streamers like watch gameplay footage and like watch the trailers for this game, and they'd be like, whoa, like that's a lot of gore. Oh no. And I have something to say about gore later on when I talk about one of the games that they showed during this event. But that doesn't bother me. Like, it doesn't bother me. Like, if it's a dog getting hurt or like an animal getting hurt, I can't do it. Like, unable to do it. But if it's like a person, it's just a human, just a person walking around, I'm like, you know what?
Like, humans are disposable.
Yeah, but it looks really... Dogs are never disposable.
No, dogs must never be disposed of.
No.
Not even in games.
But it does look really cool. I love the feel of it because it looks like Alien from like that movie from the 80s. So
it looks like Alien from the movie Alien.
From the movie Alien that takes place in space.
Not Aliens.
No, that's a different movie. That's a sequel, which is also amazing, but not as good. Yeah, I am excited to play it. I don't know if I might have you play it and then tell me how it is, and then maybe I'll
let you know.
Maybe I'll spend my money on that because I just have so many games I want to pick up.
Yeah.
But I do like the look of it from what the gameplay shows and the trailers.
Yeah. Another one that I had on my list, which is uncharacteristic for me because it's going to be an MMO, but was actually the cinematic trailer for Dune Awakening.
Oh, it looked so good.
It looked so good. Yeah. And again, it was a very short cinematic trailer. So no gameplay. We don't know what it's going to look like at all yet. But I just like, it looked really good. Like it looked like I was something that I would be drawn into. And so I guess I'm going to be a multiplayer gamer now.
I know when it had the footage initially, when it shows like the worm coming up out of the ground and him like hooking onto the worm, like jumping on it and then it going up. And I was like, yes, this game is like, looks cinematic, looks like a good storyline game, like a good development of this. And I love the book because I've read the book.
Yep.
And I'm a huge fan of Dune. Haven't seen the movie though, but I saw the one that was the bad movie, not the good movie.
Yeah.
But at
the good movie being the original one, I'm assuming.
No, the good movie being the newer one. There was a bad movie in the, it was like a bad, well, I guess it was like too cheesy for its own good.
It's kind of like a Tron situation where it's like the OG is classic, but it's really bad. And the newer one is like okay, but it's like very stylized.
Yeah, and it has Timothée Chalamet, so it's like
right.
a little more forgiving. But yeah, and then once it had that like the font, I was like, okay, I'm interested. All right, you got my attention. And then it said MMO. I'm like, come on, you were so close.
On!
You were so close to being like perfect. Like, oh, I'm gonna play you. And then I think,
I'll watch people play it.
Yeah, and I'll still like if it's good, if the gameplay looks good, like I'll probably dive in just because I like Dune so much.
Yeah,
but
I'm very curious how. Yeah, like what. We don't know.
Yeah, it's completely. They're like, we're not gonna tell you. You just got to guess.
Right, they're like here's a cinematic trailer, but we're not going to tell you how it's a multiplayer game or like what the premise of the game is, which is fine.
Yeah,
it's fine.
It's like my knowledge of Fortnite and how that stuff works and how big it is and how people talk about it and they have all these buzzwords, and I know there's a lot of stuff going on with Fortnite right now that people are so stoked for, like the Dragon Ball Z thing.
Yeah,
but I'm just like, I'm so out of knowing what it is like MMOs too, that I feel like I would be like an old person, not to be ageist, but an older person trying to learn the internet and like learn smartphones, like don't come from that generation. Like I feel like that's me trying to learn MMOs or like Fortnites. Yeah. Not saying that I don't want to, because I would like to jump into Fortnite maybe. Yeah, because I hear great things. But it's just like, it's so removed from what I'm used to or like what I know that like I don't know.
Right. It's interesting because it's like obviously like single player and multiplayer games have evolved like along the same timeline, but like I never played multiplayer games at all growing up, and so I never do now as an adult. And so it's just I feel like it's this whole world of like I don't know anything about any multiplayer games.
Yeah, so educate us, people. Tell us why we should play Fortnite and why
play Fortnite with us. Hold our hands.
Yeah, stream with us. If you play Fortnite and are good at it, please hold our hands and make sure we don't die too fast.
We should play Fortnite together.
We should. Yeah. And then all the skins though, you can get like the Dragon Ball Z skins, and you can get like all these ones that come out periodically. And it's funny because they timed the Fortnite released Dragon Ball with the movie that came out, which is like number 1 right now, which is like crazy that we've come far. Anime is number 1 in theaters. We've come far, guys.
Wow. My 13-year-old self would have never believed you.
I know. But anyway, yeah, MMO, Dune Awakening. That's happening. That's a thing.
So yeah, I mean, I'll keep my eye and my ear out for any updates about Dune Awakening in the future, because it does look really cool. I'd be intrigued and interested in how, like, what it is. I want to know what it is. So yeah. I'll be looking out, for updates about that. But I'm gonna wait. So I have 2 other games on here. I'm gonna talk about the last one first, because the other one is one that you and I both had. So I feel like we can kind of segue into your list, starting with this other game. So the last one I want to talk about is Pentiment, which they revealed footage for. It wasn't on opening day, but it was on one of the other days. And it looks really, really cool, super stylized, and I don't know how to describe it. Like I'm gonna see if I can pull up the article that I had about it. So it's a game by Obsidian, and it's very different from like any of the other games that Obsidian makes, because you're probably familiar with like Fallout or like Pillars of Eternity, but this one is like a swing in like the opposite direction, where it's just like it's a very stylized game that takes place, I think it's supposed to be in like the medieval era.
Yeah, that's what it kind of looks like.
So let's see. So yeah, Penitent's narrative, and this is I'm just reading from an article from Polygon. So Penitent's narrative adventure plays out in dialogue between characters, including the playable center of the story, Andreas Mailer, and the residents of the fictional town of Tassing. Mailer is described as a journeyman artist who finds himself embroiled in the drama of a murder mystery and associated scandals. Not quite a blank slate, Mailer's background will be decided by players, and the decision and dialogue players pick will determine his story over the span of some 25 years. And so the footage is really cool because it just kind of shows him walking around and talking to people. But one of the, I guess, like parts of the game that people are super obsessed with is the font. And it's been like a huge, there's been a lot of talk around it, just around how it works in terms of like actual game design, and just also like how it functions gameplay wise on the player facing side, because basically in the game all of the dialogue and decision making plays out on like text bubbles,
Mhm.
but they're all like quote unquote handwritten, so it kind of like scrawls across as characters are talking, and there's like different handwritings and different fonts, and like the ink actually like bleeds into the parchment, and like there's instances where like stuff gets crossed out and corrected, and it's it's like a really interesting take, I guess, on dialogue and communication like in a text bubble, because it's meant to represent like what people are actually saying, and the style of the font represents the communication style, if that makes sense. So
Mhm.
it's a very interesting mechanic, and I would encourage everyone to go and watch the trailer for it, because it is very interesting, and I think it's a really cool feature of the game.
Yeah, it's very unique. I don't think there's anything out there quite like that with
Yeah.
dialogue. And I feel like text boxes in games have just become so. I mean, they're text boxes, right? Like
Right.
they get dull after a while, and eventually you just want to click through all the boxes and just like have it be done.
Right.
Animal Crossing. You just want it to be over. So I feel like adding a little bit of interest in like what's the word I'm looking for? Like interaction with that
Mm-hmm.
is something that I feel like, especially with like a heavy narrative game, will help with like bringing the player into it more. So I feel like it's really, really unique. And I did
Yeah.
like the font. I understand why people are freaking out.
Yeah,
They're
it's
like,
really
wow.
cool.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, I'll read I found an excerpt that kind of describes it. So it says, the wet ink seeps and bleeds into the parchment backgrounds and dulls as it dries. Sometimes it splatters. Sometimes it's crossed out and corrected, as with real life manuscripts. The quill will dry out mid-sentence, resulting in uneven application. Black ink is written out first, then red, which is reserved for religious terms. It is penned in different fonts, which can imply profession, social standing, religious piety, so on and so forth. So it's a very dynamic system for kind of like you were saying, for like such a simple, like, well, seemingly boring feature that's a necessity, right? So I think it's just a really interesting way to sort of spice up this commonality that all games have, and actually have it play a role in the character building and the narrative building and the world building of the game. So I'm really intrigued by this game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looks cool.
And yeah, again, another one where like I'll be looking forward to get more information about it, because it says that it will launch later this year
That's
on all
exciting.
consoles. So I wonder if I don't know if there was a specific release date yet, but later this year. So that's exciting.
Get your monies ready.
Yeah.
Get your jingle jangles out. Your doubloons.
So that was one that I was really excited about, and then the one that I wanted to have us both talk about, because we both had it on our list, was The Lies of P.
Yeah, The Lies of P, which goes down as one of the best names for a video
Right.
game ever.
The Lies of Pee Pee Poo Poo.
The Lies of P, my pee. Yeah, just the idea of the fact that there's a game out there called Lies of P, and that it actually looks good.
Right.
I'm like, this game looks good. So essentially you're Pinocchio.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this is not the only Pinocchio game that's going to come out. And there's no release date for this yet. But they just showed a bit of like what it's going to be at the event. And it's a Soulsborne game. So you think Pinocchio, you combine Soulsborne, and you're like, how does that work? Like, how does that even... And there's Geppetto, and I don't know if there's going to be a whale, but I really hope there is. But this game looks good. Like, it's Bloodborne, essentially. Like, it looks very much like Bloodborne. Like, the mechanics, the fighting, even, like, the little bars for the enemy health. It looks extremely similar to Bloodborne. And Bloodborne, I would say, is my favorite Souls game. Like, or in the genre of that. Like, a From Software game. I think Bloodborne is my favorite because it's so smooth. The combat's very fun. And then this is, of course, is before Elden Ring. Even though I think I like Bloodborne more than I like Elden Ring, which might be controversial to say. So this is combining my love of, I guess, Disney and Dark Souls, and like just fusing them, which I never thought would be a fuse. But yeah, it looks really good. It also looks a little bit like steampunk. Like, it looks like the style of like a steampunk Pinocchio.
Yeah,
in this
right.
kind of style. Like, it's very dark, and it's a very like gritty looking game. But it also looks like an RPG. That is a Soulsborne.
It looks like a combination between Bloodborne and like Final Fantasy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I'm scrubbing through the trailer now.
And it's just this game, like for me,
So
like
good.
I know that Pinocchio I think came out recently, like I guess the copyright for it got released or something.
Oh
And
yeah,
that's
because
why
it's old enough now.
yeah, so that's why a lot of people are trying to jump on it and they're like, we're gonna make a Pinocchio game. No, we are. And I feel like this game's gonna come out, Lies of P, and there's gonna be another Pinocchio game come out. And I feel like they're gonna be total opposites. This one's like a dark
The truths of P.
the truths of P, the lies of P.
Yeah, and some
Yeah.
of the battles look really fun. The combat
Yeah.
looks fun. And there was one shot in the trailer that actually reminded me of in Nier Automata, that fight with the like not mannequin, but in the theme park where you're fighting the dolls or whatever, and there's like the giant thing with the skirt.
Yeah.
I don't know, it just reminded me of that. But
I know what you mean.
yeah, it looks really good. I think I really love the style above all else. And yeah, again, I'll be excited to see like more gameplay and more just trying to get a feel of like what it actually feels like, because the battle system looks fun. You know, it looks again like a Soulsborne game, but
Yeah.
it looks pretty smooth and stylish. So I'll be curious to see how it feels, or like how it plays, like if we get any more extended gameplay trailers.
Yeah, like my expectations, like first off, I didn't know this game's coming out. Second off, like I'm not a very huge Pinocchio fan in general. So my expectations are very set. They're very like low almost. So if this game is like decent in my book, I'll be like, that's a win. So it doesn't have to do a lot, but it does have to do a little. Speaking of a little, this isn't like we're talking about game like that they show that we're excited for, but also they released some release dates for some games. And this game I'm really excited about, and I want to say this is the one game I was most excited about for the whole entire show. And I already knew about it because it was in a previous show. They showcased it. And it's A Little to the Left. So it's like an organizational game. And if anyone's familiar with like the game Unpacking, it's kind of similar in that aspect where you're trying to do like little puzzles in your home and you're trying to figure things out and organize things. And the cool thing about this game is you can organize things and beat the puzzle in different ways. So you don't have to solve it the same way. Like people can play it differently. Also, if you mess up or if you're in the middle of it and you run too long or something, a cat's paw just like swipes your screen and just like gets rid of everything that you're working on. And it's based off of this couple who made this game, their cat, and like their home, and like how they like to organize their home and like the struggles that they went through together as like a couple to like kind of work together to organize their shared space. And it tells like the story of that, and also like their cat who keeps messing stuff up, which is really funny. I'm so excited for this game. Now this game's releasing for PC and Mac first, so it's exclusively PC and Mac, and that's November 8th. So that's when it's coming out. And then the Switch release date is to be announced. So there is going to be a Switch release, but it's going to come later. And I want to buy the Switch release, just because I feel like it's a really good Switch game to have, because you could just be relaxing and like laying down or traveling. Like it's a game you can jump into. It's like a puzzle game. So that I want to wait for to get it on Switch. But I'm really happy that they have a release date for that, because that game looks insanely good.
Yeah, I like the style. I'm looking at images of it now, and I really like the style. The art style. The
style is very pretty. It's very pretty. It's very like calming and therapeutic. Like one of the puzzles is you're taking stickers off of fruit, like that you buy from the grocery store, and you just have to take the stickers off. And like some people take off all the stickers and then they complete the mission or the puzzle, because like some people have played through some levels of it, like it showcases and other kind of things. But then in other cases, you have to like you can leave the sticker on one of them and like still complete the puzzle. Like it's very like you get to create how you do things. And it's very like personalized to you and how you prefer to do puzzles, which I think is really cool, because I like the shoe doesn't fit all, kind of thing. Like I like mixing it up and like being able to kind of play around with the environment and like make my own spin on things. So
do it your own way.
Yeah, it's like maybe a little to the left, maybe a little bit more to the left. That's what I'm saying. But I am excited about that game. So that was super exciting. And then a game, like an announcement that I was excited about was Where Winds Meet. So that's like an RPG, and it's set in the final days of the Ten Kingdoms era of Chinese history. So there's a lot of Chinese history with this game. And the trailer or like that they showed just looks so cinematically beautiful. The color schemes, the characters look really cool, and the fact that it looks like you're fighting like a god or something in it.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is really cool. So this is an article that I'm reading right now off of this. And basically, the game is set during an era of war conflict at the beginning of the Northern Song Dynasty. Here, you take on the role of a wandering swordsman who has to use their martial arts and sword fighting skills to survive countless foes. In this world, you must choose between upholding your code of morals to protect the innocent and fight for justice, or live only for yourself and risk further chaos and despair seeping onto the land. Combat in the game features fast-paced style battles where you can counter enemy blows, use Tai Chi to deflect attacks, or use acrobatics to strike them from all angles. You will have access to several martial arts skills and ranged weapons, allowing you to use a mixture of abilities to defeat enemies. So I really like that because it kind of combines like folklore and like also like history and mythological kind of beings and creatures, and like, yeah, I really like it when games can tell a story like driven from history but also like have a spin on it and make it interesting. And this game looks really cool. So basically, yeah, it's an open RPG with martial arts. What more can you ask for?
Sounds fun.
Yeah. And it's really cool to see Chinese developers like more so like in the realm of like making these kind of games, like these experiences, because I feel like there's not a lot that I get to hear about. So I think that's really cool. Also, the fact that that's going on. So that was another announcement that I was excited for.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I think we all know about Sonic Frontiers. What's going on with that? That is releasing November 8th. So if anyone's interested in Sonic and like the new Sonic game coming out.
I still I don't know. It's like I've seen so much content but still know so little about it.
Yeah, and the
you know
trailer,
what I mean?
Yeah, I think a lot of people have high hopes for this game because a lot of people who love Sonic want to like this game. They want to like this game because it's been so long since I've had a good Sonic game. But the trailers that I've seen, the gameplay and like the footage that they show, it just looks empty.
That's what I was gonna say. So like the open world part of it feels really empty.
Yeah, like it doesn't seem like there's even that many. Of course, this is like footage. Like we're not playing it yet. It's not in our hands yet. But I feel like it just looks like there's not enough enemies on the battlefield, and it feels like the areas are very blank. Like there's a direct way you need to go in there, but if you deviate, there's pretty much nothing. It's like,
and I'll say like the cool part about it is there's these like portals that take you into like old school Sonic style like maps, like side scrolling maps. Those look really cool. But I think the open world, I think also maybe we all feel a little bit weird about like open world Sonic because it's like, what?
It's trying to be Breath of the Wild, and it's like, why? You're Sonic, you go fast,
right? And like Sonic has always had a very like consistent style in terms of like maps and mechanics of the game, and so to all of a sudden have open world Sonic, it just feels uncomfortable, and that's also why we're like,
yeah. And I get it. Like a lot of people are trying open world. Like I feel like a lot of series of games are going to try open world, and this is the time to do it because I think people are investing in that more than ever. So I mean, heck, it might work. It might be the best Sonic game to come out in a very long time, and it just blows people's minds. It might be a new frontier. That's why they called it a frontier.
Yeah, I probably won't play it, but I will watch other people play it just so I can see it. Like I want to know what it's like, and then maybe I'll be like, oh my god, I need to play that.
I also will do that. I will not buy it, but I will watch other people play it.
Yes.
And the last game that I was really excited about is actually a surprise to me. Not because the showcase, there was a leak before the showcase happened that this game was coming out, and it kind of surprised everybody because they hadn't heard anything about it in so long. And it's Dead Island 2.
Yeah.
So that game did get shown off.
It's been like 6 or 7 years or 8 years.
Yeah, I forgot it happened. I played it. I played it, the first one, and I actually really liked it. Like I liked it as a zombie game. And that's saying a lot, that if it's not a Resident Evil game, I tend to not like zombie games because there's too many, and it just feels like forced, and it doesn't feel very unique, and it's just another zombie game. But this game, Dead Island 2, has got me excited for zombie games again that aren't Resident Evil, because this game looks great. Like it looks so fun, and the way that they showed the cinematic is really like it was really funny actually. The song that they chose was, I think, was perfect for showing this off, and also the humor. Like this game has a lot of humor to it, and the first one did, but this one seems like it even kind of pumped that up a bit into making it more humorous. Like there was a scene where in the cutscene that they showed, or the cinematic scene that they showed, where this guy was like sitting or like standing on the couch, like sitting by a couch, and like a zombie like grabs his head and like takes off his head. It's very gory. It's extremely gory, this trailer. And like rips off his head, but he's still smoking. He like still takes a drag from his cigarette as he's falling, as like his head's like off and he's just like still smoking. That was such a good little joke right there. But yeah, it looks great. The main characters seem really cool. I like the fact that it's taking place in LA. I know a lot of people are like, that's technically not an island. LA's not an island. Yeah. You know, like it's called Dead Island. But, you know.
What are you doing?
Yeah. I feel like there's a beach. You know,
there's water.
A beach. Yeah, there's water there. It's fine. It's going to float off anyway. California's going to float off and become an island anyway. So. That's
true. So they're getting ahead of it.
Yeah. But yeah, that came out of nowhere, and I'm excited for it. And I think I am going to check this one out. I'm going to check out Dead Island 2.
I really want to see actual gameplay to know if I'm going to like it, but I feel like I will because I like the first one. And so hopefully this one is also fun to play. Because I loved the cinematic trailer. It was really well put together. But again, like I'm always like, okay, but show me gameplay.
Yeah, no.
What is the actual game?
Yeah, for sure. So we're not going to have to wait long for Dead Island 2, thankfully. It's going to be released February 3rd, 2023. And I feel like it actually can make it. I feel like the deadline, I think it's a good deadline. If they have to push it back, they have to push it back. But I do feel like February 3rd is a good date to come out, because it's been 8 years since it was announced. 8 years since it was announced. And they did show, they do have some gameplay up on YouTube of it too. It's like, it's fast cut gameplay. But the gameplay looks really fun. It's basically a sandbox game where you just get to be creative with killing zombies. Yeah. And using all kinds of weapons. Yeah. And that's what the first one was really good about, I feel like. They did that very well. So I think this one, February 3rd, 2023, guys.
Put it on your calendar.
Yeah, put a little island on there. And then do a cross and skull and crossbones. Dead Island.
And then forget why you did that.
And be like, am I a cartoonist? What is this?
Wait, what is going on? What does this mean?
Yeah. Also, in other shocking news...
Banana!
The plot thickens with Hideo Kojima.
Oh my god.
The plot thickens so thick, it's a stew at this point. So...
It's a roux.
Yeah.
Making a sauce.
It's a ruse at this point. But this article from The Verge starts off with it. So during opening night live, otherwise known as Geoff Keighley's European Adventure, the maestro of video game marketing announced that his friend, Hideo Kojima, would be making an appearance. And whenever Kojima deigns to show his face, the gaming world pauses with bated breath, waiting to see what game that man has cooked up now. But unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on where in the Kojima fandom you fall, his newest announcement isn't a new game, or even a port of an old game, but a podcast. So, as per our episode 2 weeks back, I talked about the tweet that Kojima had made about an edit in Premiere Pro that he was completing and hinting about. And he was saying, like, just finished, just nearly done editing. As it turns out, it may not be a video game. Everyone thinks that, like a video game trailer, that everyone thinks it's going to be. But it just might be his podcast episode that he edits. Because he likes to edit things himself. He doesn't like other people editing his stuff. Right. So, basically, first off, how are other podcasts going to compete to him? You know,
we're doomed, Mary.
Yeah, exactly. We might as well just stop right now. But, so Spotify requires a lot of their established podcasts to release a video with it as well. So there has to be video and audio. And he was editing video and audio in Premiere in that tweet. So basically people are just kind of coming up with this, all right, he's probably just making an episode and he's probably just, that's what he's talking about, he's going to release. Because it's releasing soon. I believe it's September 8th is when his first podcast episode. Yeah. It's very
wow, we get a Kojima podcast and God of War Ragnarok.
Yeah, I mean,
a day apart.
A day apart. He's like, he definitely
He knows
found
what
the
he's
time.
doing.
Yeah. He's like, he really is trying to screw Sony somehow. He's like, I'm an Xbox boy now.
I'm on the Xbox train now.
Yeah, no stopping me.
Toot toot.
Yeah, so September 8th, that's what, and this is the most Kojima podcast name I can think of. The Brain Structure. That's what it's called.
Mm-hmm.
So people are like, is it about video games? Is it not about? Who knows? It might be.
Is it about behavioral psychology?
Yeah. Is he going to give us a TED talk on how to program your brain in a different way?
I guess we'll find out.
The one thing we do know is that Geoff Keighley is going to be on
mm-hmm.
the podcast, and he's going to be doing the game news. So.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So everyone else is like, whoa.
Everyone's like, I don't know what's going on.
So I don't know if it's going to be like a weekly thing. I would imagine it's going to be like somewhat regularly because like he's in the trailer, I guess in the announcement like video that he made for people in the
mm-hmm.
showcase, he was in front of this big, huge soundboard and he had a big Spotify logo behind him.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, it's going to be released on Spotify. But yeah, so this is what I think the podcast.
I'm gonna listen.
Yeah, I will definitely listen. I will listen to this podcast.
I'm very intrigued.
Yeah, because there's going to be a translator, so
mm-hmm.
like everyone can listen to it. And it'll translate what he's saying. But basically, what I think the podcast will consist of is movies, because he's a movie
mm-hmm.
head. So he's probably going to be talking about movies on there. Music, because
mm-hmm.
why not? Game philosophy, like not just games, but like the philosophy of video games.
Right.
Maybe. And then Death Stranding lore. I think he's just going to go further. He's going to go further into it and just be like, we haven't dug up enough of these bones. Let's get digging.
Here's the thing. You guys know nothing about Death Stranding. Let me tell you everything.
It's a Strand-like game. So he's like, the point of walking so much is that you walk so much. Revolutionary.
It's meant to give the feeling of the long, arduous journey and...
That's it. That's just a long, arduous journey.
That's it.
Never goes anywhere.
It never stops.
There's sprinkling of boss fights where you're like, wait, this is a boss? Is this not a boss? I don't know. Troy Baker's in here. Troy Baker's here.
I mean, he always is.
Yeah. So I think it's going to be a mix mash of like things because I don't think it's going to be exclusively talking about video games. But who knows? This guy is impossible to read. Like I don't know anymore. Like, because he's
always hiding something from us.
He is, because this kind of parallels with Konami, their tweet that they released and their hashtags of the games that they're going to be re-releasing. And they hashtagged Silent Hill. And everyone was like, oh, that means Konami's going to re-release some Silent Hill games on Steam, because that's what they were talking about, like games they're going to release on Steam in the future. And everyone was like super excited for that. And then the Kojima thing, the announcement, oh, he's making and editing this thing in Premiere. What could it be? Of course, the freaking podcast. Of course.
He's just like us.
Just can't keep up. Just can't keep up with that Kojima. Like, he's just not. He's like covered in grease and he's running away. He's like trying to catch him.
He's just sliding.
Yeah, he's like, whoa, good luck, boys. But yes, I'll be listening to it, and we should give updates to what the heck it is, because I'm very intrigued on what this guy's going to talk about.
Yeah, I'm very curious what the first episode will be about. Yeah,
but I do think with the name, like the brain structure, I feel it's going to be very cerebral, very almost like NPR, the NPR of video game news. Right. I feel like it's going to go in that direction.
Again, I don't know. We'll see. I am very interested, and I will be listening.
Norman Reedus is required to be on every episode in the background.
He's the translator.
Yeah, he's required. He cannot leave. He's like, I thought we were just doing Death Stranding 2, but I guess we're doing a podcast.
Because we're doing a podcast. I have to go film Walking Dead now. Bye.
Oh. But yeah, I wanted to talk about that. That's what he sounds like. But yeah, that's exactly what he sounds like. People, when they meet him in real life, they're like, I wasn't expecting that type of voice. Huh. He's like, hey guys. Hi there.
Hey guys, it's me, Norman Reedus.
I'm on the Walking Dead. I gotta go walk to the Walking Dead now.
I gotta go walk the dead. Come on, Dad, let's go.
Go pee here. Yeah, I want to talk about that. That was like, I guess, one of the bigger news from that showcase. At least people that were waiting with bated breath of what he was going to release, and that's what he released. So, there we have it, guys. There we have it.
Can we talk about the weirdest thing that they released, which is the Pokemon car?
Yeah, right? It's like, yeah.
I'm like, what?
It's a Mini Cooper, right? Is it a Mini Cooper?
I think so.
Yeah, it's a Mini Cooper, and it has headlights that are projectors. Yeah. That are playing like a Pokemon movie or something? Or like, can you play Pokemon on it?
I don't know.
Well, because they said during the like they showed the car and there were the
Right.
people talking about it, Geoff Keighley and the creator, and
Mhm.
they were like, "Oh, this is like a gaming car." Or
Right.
they explained it kind of like a gaming console that is a car
Right.
in a way like that. I was like, how? It's like Pokemon Go, except you drive into them.
Yeah.
That's how you catch them. You're like,
Or you're driving a Pokeball, and that's how you catch them.
Yeah.
You run them over.
You just like hit so many cars. You're like, sorry, I was playing Pokemon Go. The news.
Yeah, I'm
Pokemon.
like, who is this for?
Yeah, Pokemon Go Mini Coopers, unstoppable.
Like who is this for? Why does this have to? Why? I'm just so confused how this happened.
It's very confusing. I feel like Pokemon, they have too much money now, where they're just like throwing in random directions.
Yeah, they're like, we're just gonna build a car.
Yeah, that sounds
Here
good.
you go. It's a Mini Cooper. It's a collab with Mini Cooper.
Yeah, and it's like Pikachu. Is Pikachu? Yeah, because there's like this I don't know what it's called, but there's this interface in the car instead of like a screen, like a LED screen. It's like Pikachu.
Right.
And he's like lit up, and there's like the time or like whatever else. I'm like, can you imagine just like going on a date or something, or like picking somebody up and just like having to explain to them what
What's
exactly
going
is going on? Yeah, you're like, and like, what if when it beeps, it does like the theme song, like,
Oh my god.
gotta catch 'em all.
Well, and the other thing is too
Pokemon.
is like everyone knows Pokemon. Like there's not a single
Yeah.
person who doesn't know what Pokemon is, regardless of how much you engage with it.
Yeah.
So it's like this person is gonna know. They're gonna be like, that's Pokemon, but like, why does this person have a fucking Pokemon car?
Yeah, and as the person who has the Pokemon car, you spent so much money on it because it's probably limited release, so it's probably
Right?
extremely expensive.
I wonder if there's a price. Hold on, I'm gonna see if there's a price for the Pokemon car.
Yeah, and I would just love to like be picked up by someone in that and just have to have a conversation with them, or just like not even talk about it, like no conversation, no context,
Right? Nothing. You don't say anything.
And like when they try to bring it up, you'd be like, "What do you mean? This is my new car. Do you like it?"
It's
That's
just a
it.
car. It's just a Mini
car.
Cooper.
It takes me point A to point B. I got it for
Okay.
work. I got it for
I'm
work.
on the Mini Cooper website. Let's see.
Pokemon. Yeah, and I guess of all
Well, that's a car model. Where's the actual car?
I guess of all the media that's out there, Pokemon makes sense to have a car.
Sure.
Because would you really have like, I'm trying to think of like other game franchises that like would be a car. That would be cool if like Resident Evil had a car and there was like zombie guts on it.
Ooh, it's all bloodied up.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. That'd be pretty dope.
Okay, I'm not seeing anything about prices. Maybe it's not real. Maybe like you can't buy one.
Yeah, maybe it was a joke that they pulled on us. And we just accepted it as truth. We were like, yeah, of course you're going to release a Pokemon Mini Cooper.
Also, speaking of like cars, I don't know if you saw this like in the news, not in gaming news, but California is making gas cars illegal by like 2035 or something.
Yeah, I did see that.
I'm like, damn.
Yeah, that's
I'm like,
rough.
how?
Yeah, seriously. It's like, oh, can you afford? That's basically saying like, because what if people can't afford a smart
Wait, what
car?
if you can't afford an electric car or a smart car?
Yeah, or like to replace your car by 20. You're giving people a deadline on like being able to like afford it. And like that's
Well, and
kind
I
of
also don't know if it's like you can't purchase gas cars in California at that point, but like you can still drive one if you have one.
Yeah, I mean, I hope that it's like that because that makes sense. I understand.
I don't own
that.
a car, so it doesn't matter to me, but like
We have a gas car, so I have a very strong bias.
you're like, so it matters to me.
I have a very strong bias against this decision. If it is the case where you can't buy them anymore, I support that. But if it's the case where they're going to pull me over and be like, beep, beep, wee woo,
Here's a ticket.
you're killing the environment. You singularly in that car right now, you're the one, not the big corporations, not everybody else, not the pollution. You, with your car.
Woman.
You, yeah. Women, get out of your car. You can't drive. You're a woman.
Wait, women can't drive?
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm a bit upset about if that's the case. But if it's the other case, I don't really mind as much. That's actually a good idea. And I support it wholeheartedly.
I don't know. I don't know why I thought of that. I mean, I guess because we were talking about Pokemon car, but
Or you know what they could do? They could fine you for driving a gas car.
they could fine you for not driving a Pokemon car.
Yeah, they're like, are you gonna catch them all with that? I don't think you're gonna catch them
Can
all.
you
with that.
imagine? Like you get pulled over and they're like, "Where's your Pokemon decal?"
Yeah, you gotta have that. This jurisdiction's Pokemon jurisdiction. You can't drive around. What is this? What is this? A blue car? It's not good enough. It's not. It doesn't have Squirtle
You are
on it.
not going to catch them all in that thing.
No. Go back to the dungeon with ye.
With ye.
Lock him up in the no Pokemon dungeon.
Yep.
Oh.
Wow. I think that's it, right?
Yeah, I think that's about it. That's all she wrote.
Oh my god, I think we did it again. Oops, I did it again.
Oops, I did it again.
I played with your fart.
It was nice. It's fun. Playing with air. Ooh, fart.
Ooh.
My plaything.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see if I don't know if like, well, it's Saturday now, so I guess there's Gamescom. Is Gamescom done? Right? It's only a week long, or is it longer?
I think there's maybe like
Go through
one
the
or
weekend?
2 more events. I think there's one event or 2 events coming up.
Yeah.
Still.
So maybe, who knows? Maybe interesting stuff could be coming out right now, and we don't know.
It's true. It could be leaking it could be on the leaks.
It could be oozing as we
yeah.
speak.
The ooze, the video game ooze.
But if that's the case, we'll let you guys know next week. But I don't know. I feel like all the meat has been released already. But yeah, lots of exciting stuff happening. I'm very excited for the end of this year and next year too. Like some of the stuff coming out earlier next year.
Yeah, no, definitely. And just next month, like my birthday month. Oof.
Dude, September. You always have like a good birthday month for games. I feel like good games always come out in September.
I know, and like also events and like albums drop, and like September's a big.
Mm-hmm.
But I've learned that September birthdays, like birthdays that are in September, are the most common. So the largest amount of a population have birthdays in September. That's the baby month.
Interesting. Why are people fucking in January?
I don't know.
So much.
New Year's.
Oh, New Year's.
New Year's, yeah. Getting drunk.
Same time, we're both like,
Getting
New
drunk,
Year's.
Yeah. Getting drunk. The New Year's resolution, have a baby in September.
Have a baby. Woo!
Yeah, woo! Do you remember? But yeah, so maybe that's something to do with it because everyone's celebrating their birthdays and they're like, I'm going to release this thing on my birthday because it's mine.
Because I can.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, well, that's it for now.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for listening or watching or doing both. We appreciate you. We really like your support and would like to even see you comment on some things so that we know.
Yeah, leave us comments.
Yeah, that always helps.
Yeah, it helps us, and then also we can feature you on the podcast and we can comment on your comment. Mm-hmm. So watch out because you might get roasted.
Yeah, we might.
Or not. We might also just give you our undying love and affection. It could go either way.
You might get flambéed.
Ooh.
Yeah. But thank you again. And this is episode, you said 56? This is 56 now?
56.
Wow. We're almost in our 60s. Coming up soon.
Wow, our golden years.
Yeah.
Golden girls. But yeah, you can listen to the podcast anywhere that podcasts are available. You can listen to it on Spotify, iTunes, Amazon, pretty much anywhere. And yeah, like Mary said, please leave a comment. It does help us get noticed. And I also just love reading people's comments and like hearing what you guys have to say and engaging with the stuff we're talking about. So please take the time, leave a comment, rate us, give us 5 stars, thumb us.
Thumb us, yeah, give us your thumbs.
But only thumbs up.
Only opposable thumbs.
Yeah. Don't thumbs down us because then we'll cry. But
yeah.
That's pretty much it.
Thank you. Until next time. Bye.